Blessings, everyone. Welcome once again to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman. And it's a joy to be here with you once again, as I think I have found a day and somewhat time around 3:30, 3:45 to show up and speak to you from my heart and from my higher self, from my soul. And that's the topic of today's talk. Your true self, your soul, and how they are married. They're together. They've never been separated. How we've been taught that there's a separation. There's an old passage, divide and conquer. And that has more attributes than we can ever imagine when we think about that. And when we look at how we've been treated as from childhood all the way up to adulthood and old age for some of us, being elder, we can look back and realize how much we were told and convinced that certain things were this, and you believe it, or you're going to be punished. Well, I don't know who this punishing God is that keeps going, we keep getting threatened with that, if you don't do what we tell you, we're the, teachers of this person or being, and we have the right to judge you, and we have the right to take your life if we have to. And throughout history, we look at how many indigenous people have been literally taken, have lost their lives due to teachings that were, I'm going to say, not exactly right. And I say that not to disappoint you from your religions, but I want you to go deeper into your religions and look for the truth in that, where you are not either the victim or the perpetrator. And read that without that kind of thinking, because in most of those books we are either a perpetrator or we're a victim. And these are the choices that the overall control mechanism tells you and will threaten you with pain or some kind of uh, discommunication, or shunning, or whatever it is. But there's a punishment. Right now, we're entering into a time where punishment no longer serves anything. All it does is justifies what's been placed into a pattern of behavior for humans on planet Earth. But humans are much more than what we think they are. We, as humans, are eternal beings in other dimensions. This is just one of those dimensions. And it may sound sort of uh, not right to a lot of people as I speak this, but I want to share with you is when you die and you come back, you begin to realize that there's a whole lot more to what we call life than has ever been taught. We also learn that some of us who are not were guided not to go to those people who were studying near-death experiences. My guides told me, don't go there. They're looking for information that they can put in a book and justify it and rewrite it in a way that they can have control over it, or they can analyze it and say it in a way that doesn't give the person the ability to trust what it really is. We'll call it a psychological issue from the body dying and stopping. Now, many people now have proven that that's wrong. Many people have told stories that they came back with that are amazing. And I encourage you to listen to many of them, because everyone might have a different little turn to it or a different piece of it, because we're dealing in a multidimensional system when we die. It's not just, oh, you go here and that's the end of it. There's far more than we can ever understand with our human mind, because there's nothing here that, how do I say, examples that. Okay? These are my words, not anybody else's. So, what I come today here is today's talk is true self, your soul. So, your soul, the words that kept me on the front row here was your soul is your divine essence. Your soul is a place of safety. Your soul is your true self. Soul. So for me, source, it always came out to me, and it has other ways you could write it, but for me, it was source of unconditional love. And that's what I felt when I died. And there was no fear. There was no struggle. I was guided to look down at my body, which I did, and saw my body as a human. I wasn't completely dead at that moment, but I was leaving my body, as many do when they have an operation and they can watch the operation and then they come back into it. Well, where did they go? They went into another dimension. Well, who is that they? If the body is all that there is, or your brain is all that there is, what is it that is observing this? This is your true self. You are an amazing being of far more energy and far more wisdom than you can even imagine. And each one of us, just as we are unique here, we are unique there as well, embodied with gifts and causes that we chose at that level of higher existence. So, as humans, we are this amazing body of water. And I'm not going to go into the numbers, but we're more water than we're anything else. Okay? No water, no life. It's not just a fairy tale or sort of a logo for something. It's the truth. And right now we're learning even more about how water has the ability to do many things that were never even thought of before. It can even show us visions of what we're thinking by taking pictures of it, or freezing it and taking pictures of it. So, this is amazing how we know so little, yet think we know it all. Many of the things that I, always talk about are hidden. They're known and they're locked away in a closet because that would threaten the power structure of humanity that they've been working on for thousands of years, which obviously is not working too well these days. It's actually destroying the whole entire planet Earth. And Mother Earth has decided enough is enough. And Mother Earth will, as it has before, rearrange the whole self. Because it's a living thing. It's not just an asteroid or a blank planet that we see that we see. That doesn't mean those plants aren't alive either. We just can't see that. And when we're out there poking around, what we're doing is we're attracting attention, which is causing many things to happen here right now. So what we've been taught for thousands of years is really not the full truth. Not that I'm blaming anybody. This was the design. This was the program that humans created for civilization. And maybe in some areas it was a blessing. But right now, everybody is going to war. They're making more things to destroy each other with than anything else. People are starving to death, and we can fund millions of dollars and billions of dollars into weapons. That's not living. That's a planned effort to destroy. So I want to get off that dark side and just, fill in the blank spaces here, which are, you know, as I said, as humans, we're an amazing body of water. And we're truly missing our connection to our sacred self. We have many religions and many teachings, and they're all beautiful. And each one of them has a special connection that it rallies around. And all of them, I've not, other than what I would call dark religions, who are, thinking about death and all of that stuff and doing that. Those are the dark side of everything. And I'm not including them. But the ones who are working with the light, where light is the key to their religion. Now, how they use that light and what they do with that light is their choice. They've manifested this system where they've gathered in groups. They have a pillar society where the higher the pillar goes, the further more power you have. And you are able to change the rules and regulations when you want to, when they don't coincide with what your teachings want to be. But it doesn't mean that all the teachings are correct. And this is what we're learning now. So we're truly missing our full connection to our sacred self. Now, within our amazing physical body, we have a direct connection to our soul self, which I often call source of unconditional love, as I said previously. Source of unconditional love, S-O-U-L. Now you can change those words into something else that serves you. This is just my understanding. And so as we go through what's happening now, we've gone through the COVID disease, we've gone through giving people and children medicines that have destroyed them, and in an effort to try to find a way, and then not claiming they did it, instead of being honest and say, oh my goodness, we had the wrong formula, or we had this or we had that, and then lying behind the scenes and saying, oh no, we're not associated with that place that created this, and yet they are. There's colleges. When I read the first thing about that place in China, it had a list of the worldwide members, and they were colleges, #1 colleges and countries around the world. And when I went back to get it, to copy it, it was gone. That page was gone and everything was rewritten. I'm not lying about this. This is my truth. So all of this is being hidden from us in order for us to follow the leader. However, the leader now is not well. Whatever that leader is, or whoever is, it's not mine to worry about. But the direction that leadership is bringing upon us is really more like a bad Bible story. I'll let that go and say that what we have to come back to now is our soul self. Now, when I talk about our soul self, what do I mean by that soul self? Okay? It's about our divine blueprint. Now, in creation of anything, there needs to be sort of a blueprint. Whether it's written out on blue paper, as we call it, that's why we call it a blueprint, or it's manifested in the consciousness, and it's written down somewhere in the brain. That's the creation. That's our ability as creators. We're not just monkeys. We're creators. We think about things. We listen about things. We analyze things. And that's the gift of the brain. The brain is so brilliant that it has the ability to do that. But what do we do it? We drug it. We make it sick. We give it nervous energies. We've created a sense of fear in everybody that's so great that there are people who are still were in wars that the minute somebody blows a horn, they'll jump. This is a horror show for all humanity, and especially for our future generations, who many of them are on the streets taking drugs that make them resolve them to basically living zombies on a street. Now, we can worry about immigrants, but we have our own children killing themselves on the streets of our own cities. This is criminal. I blame the government for not intervening in it. The people are going to do what they're going to do, but if you don't enforce something to stop something, then what you're doing is saying it's okay. It's okay. We'll just look the other way. So, what is that really as we think about ourselves as these amazing beings who have souls? What is our soul really then? So, this amazing body has the direct connection to our soul self. We are an extension of our soul self, from invisible to visible, from a realm of light beyond our comprehension and understanding into a physical form that's made from water here on planet Earth. It's really simple. We are amazing part of a larger picture that can't truly be defined in human words yet. We're still developing a language to try to understand this. So we've been like that for thousands of years. And we are truly missing our true self, our sacred self. And we have a direct connection to that soul self. So our connection to this blueprint, this divine blueprint, is through our hearts. Okay? It's when we and where we communicate all forms of divine presence in a sanctuary that has no limitations or judgment. No limitation, no judgment. Hello, Yolanda. Bless you, dear heart. It's lovely to see you. You can get the beginning if you just came on after when the show is done. I ask you all to be with that. So this sacred connection is not valid if we're not aware of it. And it's our critical connection for human awareness as we move forward in our evolution. What does that mean? It means that in this sanctuary, we begin to recognize how precious and wise we truly are without being ridiculed or denied. For there's no judgment in this sanctuary. And the sanctuary is basically in another dimension. That dimension cannot be reached through our brain. Our brain has no keys to that. We receive information and it ends up in our brain and then we process it. But it has nothing to do with the brain until it comes into our heart. What is our heart? Our heart is this beautiful, open circle of divine energy, because that's the first thing when we came to life. We're not living unless this heart is open. This chakra, this center, this 12 around one, I'm going to call it a 12 around one beingness, is not operating. You can put it into any words, any forms you want. You stop the heartbeat for long enough, you don't come back from the death experience. You go back into a state that you existed in and will continue to exist until you perhaps choose to come back into this dimension or say, no, I've had enough. I learned what I needed to learn, and now I'm on to something else, which we don't know what that is. Not in at a human level. We have visions of it. We have dreams of it. So what we're learning is that everything is connected. It's never completely shut down. Even with all of the satellites they put around this planet, they cannot stop that energy. They cannot protect themselves from the truth. They can try to pretend to themselves that they've got this all squared away and now they can create their own little world, but it's not going to happen. It was never designed to happen. Because if it does, then the rest of the uh, dimensions are all going to be hurt by it. All of the other planets are going to be affected by it. Will they heal? Sure, they will. But it's sort of like all of us. The first thing we do is we apply medicine when we're sick. Doesn't mean we're going to survive, but we try to correct what is wrong. And that's what we're going through right now. We're trying to correct what is wrong. So this sacred connection is critical, not only to our human awareness, but it is critical to move forward in our evolution. So when we come into this sanctuary, I'm going to put it on my heart. This is where the sanctuary, this is the key, this is the doorway to the sanctuary. The sanctuary is a dimensional being or place that we consciously allow ourselves to slip out of this present conscious and open to that field, is where we begin to recognize how precious and wise we truly are without being ridiculed or denied. As I say this here today, people will ridicule me and deny me, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I know that that's coming from their not being able to comprehend or understand what I'm saying. And yet I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. All I'm here to do is to open your minds to think about something far greater in yourself than you've ever been told. How amazing you are and the potential that you have to do something dramatically unbelievable. Each one of us have that potential. Even the poor homeless guy on the street has that opportunity. There is no human being that doesn't have the multidimensional energy within it. It's just how much is the communication system damaged, how much is it distorted, and what are they suffering that they can't get rid of because they've been entrained to feel the pain and the fear. This is not a joke. It's not, I'm trying to make everybody believe what I say. I'm just going to tell you what I'm understanding. It's taken me 20-something years after coming back from death to now begin this. This past 2 or 3 months has been an amazing journey for me into levels where my theme was peace, and all of last year. And I've got another year of studying peace, because 1 year of finding where peace was within me and where it wasn't enough. That's how critical this is. It's critical for all of us to come back into peace within our own self. And if we can't make peace with ourselves, how are we going to make peace with each other? It's really simple. You can't do what you can't do. And all you're going to do when you can't do it is feel bad about yourself. So let's get off the pity pot. Let's think about what we can do that's positive. We know the negative is there. Leave it there. We know we have to deal with that. We know that that's not going to go away just because we don't like it. But what can we do to raise the level of peace within ourselves, within each, in communication with each other? Because there are really, the thing of is in this sanctuary where we have the opportunity to go, we are safe. We're not dealing with humans here running around making laws. We're dealing with what we know and call as angels or spirits or whatever. And there's no harm. There's no killing each other. It's all about love and light and peace. And it's all light. We may not see anybody. We may envision somebody because that's our human brain wanting to put something into form. But most of the time, they're not going to show up. They may show up as shadows. They may show up as something that you feel comfortable with because that's their purpose, is to allow you to feel comfortable in your own body. I'm going to take a deep breath because I didn't think all of this was going to come through today. So as I talk and read my show notes and go back and forth, it's it's a unique process. Anyway, there are no limitations or criticisms to interfere with or deny who we truly are. Living simultaneously in multiple dimensions. It's not for everybody. But for those who can grasp a piece of that, just hold it in your hand. Just hold it in both of your hands if you need to. And say, what if what he's saying is true? What if this man is talking about really makes some sense? How can I tap into that? How can I do that? Because I'm tired. I'm not liking what's happening. All I see is stuff that is so negative. I need some positive energy. Well, this is what I'm saying. The positive energy is within you. It's within your heart. Your brain has been programmed for fear and pain. And it's been overcharged right now. Now we come back into our hearts and we love. I'm going to say with you, Yolanda, the pictures you send me of the animals and the flowers, and that's the love, that's the peace, that's the light. Without peace and light, they wouldn't be existing. They're not consciously aware of what we are, but they live in that element that we are destroying around them. So we have to remember that what we do as humans, because we have this great ambidextrous reality, we need to stop and look and say, what is killing all of this? Because we all have become murderers in one level or another. And that means that we have a lot of work to do. And we need to teach the future generations to love and care Mother Earth first. So back to the field of light. As I say, when I died, I went to this field of life. There was no body, there was no existence, there were no people, angels, or anything. Although I recall remembering speaking to some kind of spirit beings. I can't picture them anymore. I don't know if they just appeared in shapes and forms to make me feel comfortable. It wasn't matter. But what was mattered was I was given the opportunity to come back and be part of what's going on now. And most people will say, why did you do that? It was about love. In my life, I had never felt love, really. And I was damned if I was just going to walk out now without feeling love. I came back to find love and peace and light that I just went through. I said, because I know it's here somewhere. And what I learned It's right here in my own heart. I am the peace, light, and love. You are the peace, light, and love. And all we have to do is turn on or turn up the volume, you know, crank the radio, broadcast it. It's that simple. In ways that you feel comfortable, in ways that you know are creating a positive energy. Because right now, there is too much negative energy for planet Earth and for a lot of planets that we're uh, reaching out to. So try not to understand what I'm saying. Just try to listen to it and say, what would happen if I shifted and I trusted my heart? Even though my brain was a little sketchy about it, what if I allowed my heart to lead me? Where would that take me? Just ponder it. Maybe write it down on a pad of paper, and then in a month, oh, well, gee, why? I never thought of that before. Or I never thought about that. Allow your brain to be the uh, secretary or the person who's getting the uh, script written for you, because it's who you are. But you are far more than you can imagine until you try. So the last couple of sentences as I have here, there are no limitations or criticisms to interfere with or deny who we truly are, living simultaneously in multiple dimensions. This field of light is peaceful beyond our human ability to understand it because it has no physicality to distort us, and it is here we can let go of our physical suffering in a safe and loving energy field. And last, this very powerful calmness, truth, peace, love, joy, truth, and a reminder that our soul is incarnate upon the earth offers the ability to live it in our human form without fear. So bless you all, and whenever you get to read this, it's in Humanity Healing's film or whatever it is, videos. I think I'm the only one now who's doing live videos for Humanity Healing, and thank you so much for this space to share what I am offering. And thank you for Good of the Whole, where I do a kirtan with Tony every night at 10 p.m. That's Good of the Whole. And we've been doing that for over 2 years. We're right now working on 3 years, not missing one single night. And it's a place where you can come and just relax. And we put the words up on the screen, and you can sing along with us. And over time, you start singing. You don't need the words. The words will come because it's the same. It's a repetition, and they're beautiful. Yolanda here is one of our beloved sisters that joins with us. And I want you all to know that whatever you can do to make this world brighter, you are the light that we need. It isn't the light out there. It isn't the light here on the screen. It's the light of your heart. Put it to use. Make it work. Let people see it. Blind them with it if you have to. Always in kindness. But know that it's not our job to change anybody. It's only our awakening that will help their awakening. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. One heart, one love, forever. May we come back into a form of unity rather than all of this separation. Aho, mitakuyawasin. We'll see you next Sunday. And like I say, you can follow me on Facebook or Just punch in Charlie Riverman, uh, Bergeron, and you'll find me. the, the computers know more about me than I do. So I love you all and thank you all. Yolanda, it's so good to see you here. Bless your heart. Thank you so much for all that you do for everyone. We'll see you tonight, as a matter of fact. Blessings, everyone.